My name is Stéfanie André. I'm from Tilburg University in the Netherlands. And this is the result of a paper that I've written with Jaap Dronkers from Maastricht University and Ariane Nate from Twente University. Jaap is really sorry that he couldn't be here. He would really have wanted to join you all. The title of our paper is To Vote or Not to Vote, Electoral Participation of Immigrants in European Union Member States. Well, the most important question is, why is this important? And we think this is important for two reasons. The first reason is that we can say something about the political integration of immigrants when we look at voting. I assume that when immigrants vote at the same level as nationals do, that they are fairly well integrated. The second reason is democratic legitimacy. We live in representative democracies, and if we do not include our citizen immigrants, they're not represented in our parliaments, and that can't be a good thing. And for the record, I only analyze citizen immigrants, so I want to leave the whole debate about how to include non-citizen immigrants out of my presentation. I have two research questions. The first one is, how does the electoral participation of national elections of immigrants from different countries of origin in different countries of destination differ? And the second one is, how can these differences be explained? And we focus on the macro explanation. So how can differences in the country of origin or in the country of destination explain differences in voter turnout in the countries of destination? Well, we studied first and second generation immigrants, so those who are born abroad or one of whose parents is born abroad. They're from 67 countries of origin and 19 regions of origin. A lot of people are with 1, 2 or 3 people from one country, and that's not very nice to analyze, so we put them in the United Nations regions. All of the immigrants are citizens of the country of destination, which leaves us with a little more than 8,000 respondents. And those are residents in 24 European Union countries. The data are from 2004, 2005 and 2006, 2007, so it's a while ago already. Should update it soon. Well, we study EP. This means something else for me, because it means electoral participation instead of European Parliament. And the question we asked all the people, including the immigrants, was, did you vote in the last national election? And the data we used are from the European Social Survey, the second and third round. Well, as you can see, there's quite a difference in the voter turnout of immigrants in different countries. In Czech, Switzerland, Estonia and Poland, the voter turnout is quite low. And in Italy, Greece, Denmark, Belgium and Luxembourg, it's quite high. Especially for Belgium and Luxembourg, this can't be a surprise because there's compulsory voting. That's also why we see a large association with the turnout of the natives later on. But there is quite some difference, from 50% to more than 90% of the voter turnout. I think this table is not readable for most people, but I will tell what's in it. These are the countries and regions of origin, and the percentage of people from that region or from that country of origin that have voted in the national elections in the country of destination. And we see especially that the African regions and the Caribbean regions score very low. They don't have a high voter turnout. And people from Congo, Switzerland, the Netherlands and Denmark also vote when they're somewhere else. Congo is a bit of a strange case, but almost all immigrants from Congo in our sample live in Belgium, where they have compulsory voting. So that's the case. When we analyze the data in a very difficult statistical way, we found out that most of the differences in turnout are caused by the individual characteristics of immigrants. So it does not really matter where they go, and it does not really matter where they come from. And we still want to try if there are possible explanations of these turnouts if we watch the countries of origin and countries of destination. I had a lot of theories, so I had a lot of variables to test. And in the end, only 2 variables of the country of destination had any effect. The first one is from socioeconomic opportunities. We saw that countries with a higher economic level had a higher level of immigrant voting. And the second one was the turnout of the natives. Turnout of the natives is a bit of a truncated variable. It's everything in one, and it means that immigrants do as well as the natives do, and that is a sign of integration, I think, although it is still lacking behind. It was 12% in Mr. Franklin's presentation, and it was on average 8% in my data. There are a lot more origin effects that singly affect voter turnout, but if we take them all together, there are 2, maybe 3 that stand out and stay significant. The democratic quality is very important. If you're from a country that is democratic, it has democratic elections, you're much more likely to vote. And the same is the case for civil development or societal development. This is the Human Development Indicator Index. And we see that people who are from more developed countries also have a higher propensity to vote. And the last effect, I didn't mention it here because it was very small, was that people from Christian countries, where most people are Christian in your country of origin, you also have a higher propensity to vote. And probably this means that you moved from the dominant Christian country to another dominant Christian country in which you know some of the social environment. What can we conclude? On average, immigrants have a lower propensity to vote than natives, and this is also the case for the second generation. So this means that just growing up and having a new generation of immigrants does not help. And I would be very happy if I had the opportunity to study the third generation, or if anyone has data, please present them. I'm really interested to know what happens when the third generation is growing up. Our second conclusion is that the destination country has a larger effect on electoral participation than the origin country, and this is the only immigrant integration characteristic that we know of that has this feature. So it does matter a bit to which country you go, and maybe policies do matter. The problem is that we didn't find that the current immigrant policies, as measured by the MIPEX index, affect immigrant voting. None of the sub-skills nor the total skill had any significant effect. So maybe my measurement of electoral participation is not the best. Maybe the MIPEX has to be measured in another way, or maybe policy just does not matter yet. Oh, and I missed one I see now, and that is that the origin explanations, although there's less variation from origin countries, they do explain more in voter turnout. So it does matter if you have a lot of immigrants from poor countries, and you should really introduce a civil education for these people to make them better citizens. And then I want to come back to what Mark said about how can we make immigrants vote. It's not in this paper, but another paper I'm writing. I found it, especially for men, it matters if you're in a union. Male immigrants who enter a union are, in a way, mobilized to vote. And for the women, if they are active in church, if they're very religious, they will vote more often. I'm not sure if it's for religious parties or just for parties. So there are things that can help, and I think that making people involved in associations can be one of them. Well, thank you for your attention, and I hope that if you want to learn something more about it, you will email me and I will send you the paper. Thank you very much.